I am going to show off my complete collection with handheld consoles today. This one is the first handheld console that I got in my life. I remember the day my mom and dad took me to the mall and I had been talking about this system so much. My friend in the neighborhood had a Gameboy Color and I was so envious. I saw her play Pokemon Silver and it looked so really good. So I don't really remember since it's such a long time ago, but this is a funny story. We went to the mall and we were going to pick up the Gameboy Color for me, but they were sold out with the Gameboy Color. And then the lady in the store, the toy store, said, "Oh, we got a new Game Boy in, like today, so you can buy that one. You can play Game Boy Color games on this new Game Boy." I was like, what? New Game Boy? Never heard of that before. It was before the internet. I didn't read any magazines at that time. So I got to see this new console. And I remember it looked so weird because I was used to looking at the Game Boy Color, which had the buttons underneath the screen, and this time the buttons are next to the screen. Looked really weird at first, but then I thought it looked really cool. And so I got this Game Boy because we were anyway going to the mall to get me a Game Boy. Long story, and I got this. I chose the pink color and I still like pink when it comes to console color. I played on this for so many years. This is probably the system that I have played the most on. I don't know, maybe, it could be. And there's a little accessorize thing that is a worm light, I believe it's called. I had one originally back then from the same toy store, but I lost that one. So this is actually bought in the later years on eBay. Still works though. All of this Game Boy Advance things happened in 2001. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the day it was released, kind of. Sort of. I believe it was at least in the same week that it was released, since the lady, I remember it, she said, "We have a new Game Boy, I got it today." So maybe I even bought it on release. I don't know, my memory says that I did. I actually made an overview over the years that I bought the systems. The next console that I got after the Game Boy Advance was this, a DS Lite. Actually, I wanted a DS when it was released, the original big one, but I didn't get it and I didn't have money for it. But then I saved up money for this little boy, and it is a DS Lite. I'm so happy I got this version instead of the big clunky one, even though that DS is kind of rare to find right now. So I got this console in 2006. The year it actually was released. I was so happy when I got this console. It was the first console that I bought with my own money. That is always something that you will remember, I guess. And I played on it so much that actually it got kind of broken in the hinges. I can show you. I have actually taped this console so that it didn't break anymore. But I really like this console, and I chose the color white for once. The next console that I got in my life was in 2008. I bought this console on eBay. I played Pokemon Yellow in it, and I played some other Game Boy games on it. So this is my closest version to the original Game Boy. It was on eBay and I just wanted it to my collection. I actually played it an entire summer. I had it in my purse and I was playing games. Pokemon Yellow, I remember, in 2008. But definitely I didn't play on this one nearly as much as on these two boys. Since I got into eBaying in 2008, I realized that I could get so many consoles that I didn't get before. Now, I really liked buying consoles there, so this was the next console that I bought. It is a Game Boy Advance SP. What I like about this one is that it has a backlit light compared to the original Game Boy Advance. It has a backlit light. This is also the choice of console that I play on regularly. Even like yesterday, I played, as you can see, Oracle of Ages. I no longer play on this one, the original, because of this backlit thing. It didn't bother me back then that original console didn't have a backlight in the screen, but now it does because I am spoiled now. I like to play in the dark, etc. This is probably one of the best buys that I got off eBay. Played on this so much. The next console that I bought, also on eBay, the same year, 2008, was this one, the Gameboy Micro. I don't see too many people have this console, I mean, ever. It is such an underrated little console, I guess. Big manly hands would have problems playing on this, but I have small hands, so it suits me. I also believe this suits small children because it's so small and you kind of have to have small hands to play on this. The display, it is crystal clear, really, really nice. It is really backlit, like more backlit than the SP one. So this is a really good console, I believe, but it is small, so perhaps that is also why it's called Micro. The next console that I bought was this one, the DSi. I didn't even need this because I have the DS. But since my original DS started to be broken, I got really careful with it and kind of scared that it would break even more because I love this console. It means so much to me that I didn't want to harm it any further. I bought this one in order to play more DS games, original DS. I know I can play DS games on the 3DS, but I don't like that. It's something with the scaling, it looks blurry, it doesn't look as good as on the DSi. I am really happy with this console. I'm currently playing Pokemon Black on this one. I haven't beaten Pokemon Black. So now we are up in the year of 2011. What happened in 2011, you may ask? I will show you what happened in 2011.
Hur gör det här linjen? Den ska du ha, ja. Jo, men jag ska ha det. Vi ska ha det.
I bought my favorite handheld console today. It's the Nintendo 3DS. Such a good console. It's so good. And as a side note, I cannot even count how many times I've dropped this on the floor or on the street. Like literally dropped it from hand height and down. It never breaks. It's so sturdy. Never has this broken down on me. It is a masterpiece of a system. I think Nintendo really thinks about that kids drops their consoles. This is drop proof, but not from all heights. You cannot throw it out of your window. This is also a console I have played on thousands of hours. It has been my go-to console since 2011 and up to this day. This is my all-time favorite, and the video is on YouTube, so you can see that. Now, in 2014, I felt that I had played everything there was Nintendo. I had played everything and I was waiting for new games to be released by Nintendo. So I figured I'm gonna try and step out of my Nintendo zone and step into the PlayStation zone, kind of. So my first PlayStation console that I bought ever was this PlayStation Vita. The PlayStation Vita has so many games that is so unlike any games that are on the Nintendo 3DS. This is how I got into JRPGs as much as I am now. My PlayStation Vita is my gold. And this is the original version, the big version. They released a slim version and another kind of slim version, I guess. I like this one. It's a really good screen. Really good screen. The Vita is still getting a lot of new games released for it. It's definitely a console that I would recommend if you're into JRPGs and such games. The next console I'm gonna talk about I got in 2016, this year. It is the gift from a YouTube subscriber. It's the new 3DS. I changed the cover plates on it, but I actually transferred everything inside of this one. And this is an Ambassador 3DS. I have the Ambassador certificate. So now the soul of this one is now in this one. That I got from Chris. Still, thank you so much for that. So this is my current 3DS that I am gonna play all the future games to come on, and this is kind of an empty shell now, my original 3DS. Another handheld console that I got this year, actually I got it last month. This month? Was it this month? It's this one. And I will show you the video here. It is the new Geo Pocket Color, and I am talking about it in length in the first impression video. I will link it here. I can compare this to the Gameboy Color when it comes to the screen and what it can do. So these are my handheld consoles. What do you think about them? Leave a comment and such, and I will see you guys later. Bye!